Alright guys, we're going to try this again. We may get interrupted if baby starts getting kind of upset, which is fine. But yeah, we're going to just do focus on some puzzles in case I need to leave suddenly. But yeah, let's have a look. So puzzles today, we're in the 2050 kind of range. So let's see, we've got bishop and rook versus rook and knight, 4 pawns on 3, and white seems to have generally a positional advantage. What are things we could do? So we can take the knight, we can sack the rook, try and sack the rook, but the rook will deflect back. Okay. And if it deflects back, then we would have this push. Then we would be frozen in our sideways defense. We also have a check. We also have this check. That check might actually do well because there's not a lot of good places for them to move. They would be able to have there. And that's it. Is there any way we can take away those squares? Well, we could if we had a bishop there, but then obviously that defeats the purpose of everything. Okay, so what is the solution to this puzzle here? We need to deal... Like, if we could feasibly get rid of... Oh, actually, they have 2 attackers on this pawn, so we gotta deal with that right away. So, if we... I'm not sure if this is correct, but I have a feeling this is right. No, I'm incorrect. What are we looking at? Check. Okay, so that was the right idea. They move there, deflect, and take the knight. Should have been obvious, I missed it. Okay. Let's see. Minus 19 points on that one. Jeez. Okay, so let's take this a little bit slower. Let's calculate this properly. Best move for white. So we have the battery lined up. We got this lined up. That is a protected square. So here, here, and here are all blocked. Looks like we would have mate if we could get one more piece in. Let's see. Can we do that? So, optimally, we would like to get our bishop on this diagonal, this guy, which is not going to be very easy to do. We could, alternatively, we could free up the queen to move to this diagonal, but then we have to worry about defending this knight, that square. So, if we do take this pawn, for example, then we are threatening this. Knowing full well that they now have a tempo, so they would be able to, they cannot take this, but they could probably go here. Depending on what our next move is, we could probably, we would need to move into, defend the pawn, because all of a sudden that would block the defense from the queen, which is backwards defending it, preventing this queen from taking, so we need to king defend. And then he can return back with a check, so subpar, so maybe instead, we could go here, and then, does he have any checks? No, his only check would be from there, which, pain in the butt. Can't go here because that's a check. Okay, so maybe we just move off, give up this pawn, and just allow ourselves the checkmate. Okay, I think that's it. I am wrong. Start with the check. Got it. Takes the knight. Queen comes in as checkmate. Same idea. So sometimes this is a problem of thinking is you get the right concept, but then you see the moves in the wrong order. You'll notice I said both of those moves. Queen there. Oh, the knight's not defended. Need to worry about that. So I thought the last move was going to be queen down for checkmate, but it was not. Okay, bad start. Anyway, let's have a look. Okay, so why? Okay, there was a bishop there. I was like, why did that rook not take us? So, obviously, we can just take back. On the other hand, I think we have checkmate, so we should probably just do that. Yeah, looks like checkmate. So, one of the first things I noticed, like, yes, this is the low-hanging fruit right here. Let's see if there's anything else. Well, this pawn is protecting these 2 squares. This pawn is blocking that, so anything on the back rank is mate. How do we get a piece back there? Well, sometimes you think, well, I could just do this. and then move back there. There's another cheat too. So you'll notice if we don't need to pair up these pieces, we could just bring them in. Like if we could even just get the queen over to here, we'd be able to checkmate because the king would have to move. We'll be able to take down, and that is a nicely blocked square. And the rook cannot retreat. So how do we get our queen over to this square? Well, we have to do it through perpetual checks, it would seem. So you'll see, check, he must move, check, he must move, check, he must move, checkmate. Okay, let's see. So this pawn structure is not really going anywhere quick, is it? So here's the thought. The king can infiltrate into this square and start taking us out from the back, which is dangerous. These squares are blocked by my king. These ones are blocked by his. So I can't take this because his king is protecting it. So my first thought is this pawn moves up, we protect that square. All of a sudden the king has no infiltration short of, well, no, it's literally impossible because these pawns will also protect these squares. So there's no way for his king to get in and take these. That's a good first move. Now let's see if that's the right thing. Now oftentimes this is, because if his king moves any way that he would be free to move, this pawn becomes undefended, and we'll be able to slowly move up and we'll be able to win on this majority. So most likely once we make this move, we'll start to see this pawn advance, trying to delay moving the king as long as possible. And if we just make the correct moves, we should never move this one. We should always only move this. Try and move it to meet this pawn. So if it moves one, we're going to move one. And if it moves another one, then we'll move another one. It will be his move. He is forced to retreat. Because if it is our move and we are forced to play this move, this capture, that capture, a king has infiltration. So we don't want to do that. We want it to be his move, and the only move he has left is to move his king. So if he moves here, then we move there. Because if we did it the other way, like this, then he's got this. It's our move. We would be screwed. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to start with this. Yes, and one pawn at a time. Yes, okay. So that was his only chance, so we are going to just step on in. Okay. Let's see. We have... Wait, it's almost confusing which way pieces are moving. Okay. So, obviously we have this capture. We have this capture. This queen is hovering right around that king. We have this check, which is defended. The king will be forced to move here. These rooks can't go anywhere, so I could go here. King can't go up. I could just literally take the piece then. And if I did that, so I did this, say he does this, then I go here. He's going to have to move here. I can come back. Then he would move probably somewhere around there. Subpar. I mean, I got a rook out of the deal. Oh, yeah, duh, I would have just taken that rook. So, 2 rooks. Might be worth it. See if there's a better move, though. Doesn't feel quite right. Yeah. Let's give it a shot. Incorrect. Okay. I'm having a hard day today, aren't I? Let's see. Let's see. Yeah, okay. What do they want us to do? What am I missing here? Okay. So, same idea, more forcing. This would have given him the option of taking this piece. By me moving here, he can capture that and slowly gain tempo in. When, obviously, there's the more forcing fork. And just do that. Okay. Some days you have off days, some days you have on days. Today is one of those days. Okay, so obviously I'm threatening this knight. Queen is protecting it. I could put the bishop in the middle, but then this knight will be hanging. It already is because it has 2 pieces attacking it, but If this gets taken, then, well, if it is taken by the rook, then when I recapture either of these, I'm not really any better. So let's have us look. What could we do? What could we do about that? We could go here, defend the knight. We could, that would also give us the option of pulling our queen out, although we do have this incoming, which would be a checkmate, wouldn't it? Yep, that's unavoidable, so we gotta deal with that problem. Okay. So in case you're wondering, I'm seeing this. King is forced to move here. Not quite mate though, because while this can come down, we could take the knight. Queens see each other, but this queen is nicely defended, so less worrisome. Okay. What else do we have? Is there anywhere this knight can go? It can't cause any checks. Neither can this bishop. So what do we do? What do we do? Potentially that feels the most. I mean, then the queen just goes about his plan. Or goes here. Or goes here. It's not very forcing. Try it anyway. No. Protecting this square, threatening the queen. Allowing us to eventually move into here. Got it. Man, rough day. What are we, 6 puzzles in? They say to try and get 10 correct. Or just do 10 puzzles and try and get them all correct. I am far off that one today. So first off, we've got this and this. If this, then this. Then this with check, recapturing that. I kind of like that. Let's do that. Okay, so here's the question. Do you take this, or do you take that? Well, right answer here is you take this. Because this queen is defended. That queen is not going anywhere. Cannot recapture. So, okay, let's see. So this king has no squares, hardly. So, how do we take away this square from him? Well, you could do this, but then you are giving that square back. So why don't we just do that? Then this bishop is going to come in to deflect this bishop and give him an escape square. But, I mean, it's still not going to go for very long. You got here, and then win. So, that was unexpected. Okay, so we still want to, so normally I'd say we can get this bishop out of the way, but we want to take away that square first again. So let's do that. Yeah, that's fine. Let's do this with check. Okay. Okay, what are we? 2, 4, 6, 8. 2 to go. Let's see if we can figure this out. Okay, so we have, what do we have going on here? This pawn is obviously hanging. With check, and we can recapture. That's a nice start. Yeah, I don't really see any reason not to do that, to be honest. I actually can also just do that. Check, this bishop can't take it. Where would the king go? If the knight goes here, where is the king gonna go? King can't go here or here. Can go here. Can go here and here. If it's any of these squares, I've got a queen in with checkmate, which is nice. Otherwise, I can just hop out over here, threaten both rooks. Queen has no checks in that case. Now there's this bishop. That bishop can do something, but not a whole heck of a lot. Okay, so counter material will be pawn, pawn, and let's say rook for knight. Although this pawn is also hanging, so we might need to be faster than this. Because this queen can just come in. And that knight is X. So we go here. Let's calculate this again. We go here. They go there. We go here. They go there with check. King is going to come back here. And no, it's obviously not. Can't go back there. So then it'll come back here. Then they will come down and threaten a checkmate like that. I don't like that. So why don't we start with here then here? So we check, get the bishop. Queen is still going to come in, check here. Knight is now defended, but the queen can also just move to the corner and checkmate. Not so easy. Not so easy. I feel like in a real game I would want to play this move really badly. Then this trade is not so bad. Okay, so the last move was they move their bishop here, stopping defending this pawn. Perhaps if I go here, then here, then I've got here, then here, defending that, and that. I have a feeling it's going to be something ridiculous like that. And I'm probably just not seeing a computer line of like when I go here, why the king, oh, obviously the king can't go here. Because then I can just take this with check. So it would have to go here, in which case I can come back and I could start hunting it. Okay, so let's give that a shot. Not that one, let's try that. It is that. Why would they not move the king? Okay, we're going to turn off, how do you keep it from going to the next move automatically? Because this is just checkmate. I want to see why this. Maybe you guys can say in the comments. See if you can predict a move as to why the king would not go there instead. Ah, checkmate. That's it. Okay, so instead we get checkmate that way. Got it. Swing and a miss, Mike. Swing and a miss. Okay, so first thought is this pawn is hanging. If I take that, then this, and this square are not taken. I have this check. I wonder if I can get some combination of the two together. So if I get the... If I do check first, if I do this first, king here, can't really do this. Because king is just going to take. If I start with this, we're going to see this move. King must move here. Potentially get this move. I mean, I can just move out of the way. That's fine. Protect the square for this bishop anyway to come in. If I came in with that, then we have check. This king can go to either side. If he moves left or right, then I can check. This square is still protected by my bishop. He cannot move back in. He must step back. I move queen with. Yeah, I feel like that's got to be it. The only thing to be aware of is that his rook could move over here, and then when I give that check, he's going to be defending this pawn. In which case, this pawn, well, I mean, it can still advance, and I'll just get the rook for this pawn, which puts me up a rook, and I'm capturing this pawn immediately thereafter. So better position for me anyway. Okay, let's give that a shot. We're going to start with this. Nailed it. Okay, let's go here. Okay, So sometimes when a puzzle is short like that and they just don't want to show you the answer, you can see that you understand the game. How the, like, if it's a two mover, you might say, well, that's not much of a puzzle. Those are just two random moves. You just took a hanging piece in this. The idea was the calculation behind it, behind why you're going to choose this, and knowing the next series of moves. So let's see. This is tricky. We are certainly down material. Equal pawns, 2 rooks, a bishop versus rook and queen. 14 points versus 13 there. So we have this check. That accomplishes very little for us. This bishop might be nicely positioned here, although then the queen's going to come in and checkmate us. So really can't be doing that. I feel like it's got to be around this pawn. Like, if we can get this bishop somehow out, we would be able to pin a queen to that. What will it be? What's our solution here, guys? Gotta end on a win. So I mean, if we don't move this rook, and we do move this here, this queen does not see that pawn just yet. So if we don't start with the check, we can start with this, fork to the rook. The rook could come in here, yes, but then you want to check and capture that rook, which is not that bad. Yeah, I think that's it. Okay. So here's an interesting dilemma. What do you take this with? You can take it with jack. Or if you take it with the rook, you take it threatening the queen. And say the queen were to move here, a common idea would be to step the rook up one, discovered check, now threatening the queen. So where would the queen go? The queen would probably go here, in which case this rook would be able to come here with a check, and the queen would have to take the bishop, rook would capture the queen, and then pawn would capture rook. Kind of subpar. It's still 5 pawns and a rook versus 3 pawns and a rook, which is still losing for us. So maybe there's a better spot. So we go here, we go there, we go check. No, you know what? Why don't we just ignore the queen altogether? So off this, we go check. King goes here. 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 That's gotta be it. Okay, so that's it. That'll be all for today, guys. Hope you enjoy. Comment, follow, please subscribe. Have a great day. Have a great evening.